Welcome to Loco Gringo Mexico, where we can take you beyond the usual on your vacation. Each week we talk with amazing locals who know the Riviera Maya and Yucatan like only locals can. Get real tips to real places, insights on the local scene, culture, and cuisine from a local's perspective. So pour yourself a margarita, mezcal, or tequila, grab yourself a comfy chair, and let's get the show going.
Well, everybody, welcome to Loco Gringo Mexico. I'm your host, Kay Walton. I'm so glad you could join us today. Thanks for tuning in. Well, you know, I sound like a broken record some weeks, don't I, about talking about great things that people love here in the Riviera Maya. Well, this woman we're going to speak with today, her business is love. She's in the romance industry, and I think we all could use a little more love and romance in our lives. Ilse Diamant is a wedding planner. And she has some great information, and you know she's going to talk about Cancun, and we're going to talk about the early days. Her parents were some of the early pioneers there in Cancun back in the 70s, and that's just it's fascinating if you look at the way Cancun's developed over the years. But Ilse is going to talk about destination weddings and how her life here in the Riviera Maya and Cancun area. And she's got some great things she's going to share with us in terms of things you want to experience while you're here on your next visit. This episode is brought to you by Playa. You know, lots of people ask us for information and help when it comes to real estate, whether they're looking for retirement, an investment property, or maybe they're looking to relocate to the area. And we refer them over to our friends at Playa. The folks at Playa we've known for years, and they'll make sure that you, the buyer, are fully protected and informed when it comes to buying real estate. So if you're looking to buy a piece of paradise, check out our friends at buyplaya.com.
Ilse, how are you?
Hola, Kay. I'm doing great. How are you?
Muy bien, gracias. I'm doing great. Hey, thanks so much. You are a busy lady to try to track down. You're traveling and you got weddings. You're quite the busy person.
Yes, that's true. I'm so happy for this opportunity, and I'm also happy that we get finally to talk today.
I know, it's been a while. So, you know, we haven't seen each other in a while, and I wanted to really share with our listeners your story because I know that you are originally from Oaxaca, correct?
Well, actually, my mother is from Oaxaca.
Ah, it's your mom.
I
Okay.
was born here in Merida, the state that's near Quintana Roo, where Cancun is. But that's a funny story. My parents came here when there was nothing, like no hospitals. So my mom had to go to Merida to give birth to me. That's why.
Wow. So what year, this will give away your age, but about
exactly, which
okay, can I have a ballpark?
I don't like to tell this story about there not being hospitals in Cancun because that makes me look like I'm very old, but no, actually I'm quite fine with my age. The year was 1979.
Okay.
I'm quite young, as you can see.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what we were with some of the couple hundred families that started Cancun. So we were just in the beginning. We've been here like forever.
Wow. So how was your family involved with the development of Cancun? Was your father and mother, were they involved in the hotel industry or they were developers? How did all that happen?
My father actually came here to work to open one of the first resorts. He was a hotel manager, and he started here with Hotel Presidente back in 1976 or something like that. And then my mother came here to work with another resort that was opening, that's Camino Real. Mm-hmm. And they were both working in the hotel industry. That's how they met.
Wow, and so, that's a long time ago.
A long time ago, yeah. They're still together.
Well, that's good.
I'm happy.
So, being in the hospitality industry, it's in your blood. It's in your family's heritage.
Exactly. And growing up here in Cancun, all I wanted to do was study hotel management. That's when I went to Puebla University to major in hotel and restaurant management, and all, like, everything I've always dreamed about was working in the tourist industry and doing something for Cancun and to, like, keep the legacy going. Just that time changes, and when I went to study after I majored, I earned a scholarship to study a postgraduate degree in Spain. So when I went to Spain to study more about hotel management, I fell in love with weddings at one of the hotels where I was doing my internship. Mm-hmm. And I was like, wow, what is this? Weddings? Oh my God, I totally fell in love. So when I came back home, I was like, well, you know what, Dad? I don't think I'm going to be working at hotels per se. Like, I really want to start planning and coordinating weddings. So that's how it all started.
Wow. That's incredible. And I've heard wonderful things about Spain. I'm glad that your heart still stayed in Mexico and you came back here.
Oh, you know what? I was never thinking that I was going to come back home. I was in love with Spain, in love with the Spaniard also. I definitely never thought of coming back, but I got homesick. I'm really, really very close to my family. And I was just missing out on a lot of things. Missing out on my baby sister, on my other sisters, on everything. So my family is very important to me, and I decided to come back just because there's no way that I'm going to get all those years back. Like, you never know when your family is not going to be there anymore. So I was just like, I really have to go back home. And then I came back, and I'm so happy. I have no regrets about that, because I started, like, this journey that it was just like, how do I begin with weddings? This is what I want to do. How do I mix tourism? That's something that I studied, with a passion that now I found that I have, that's weddings. So I didn't know how to. I was just like, I was so afraid to start a business on my own. I didn't know what to do. I had no idea about weddings except what I had learned in Spain, which is completely different of weddings like we do here or in the States, In Spain, it's all about the food, and then after they have, like, their little reception, they will go off to maybe a disco, or, like, their weddings are not that big like the Mexican weddings. Or they're not like different days like the destination weddings that we have right now. So I didn't know how to start. A friend of mine told me about a franchise that his cousin got in Monterrey, in Mexico, in another state up north in Mexico. And it was a butterfly release company. And I had no idea. I was like, butterfly release? What's that? So I talked to the girl, and she said, like, look, it's really easy. People buy butterflies. You give them a little box. Everybody opens the box. The butterfly flies, and everyone's happy. And I'm like, wow, really? So we started promoting the company, the Butterfly Release Company, for 3 years for Cancun and Riviera Maya. So I got to go everywhere, like, nobody understood if I called them on the phone or sent an email. We're talking back in 2005, I'm sorry. So nobody understood when I was trying to explain what's butterfly release. Okay, have you ever seen it?
No, I think this is the first time I've ever heard of it.
Okay, imagine that back in 2005, okay? So people were like, oh, okay, they're paper butterflies. I'm like, no, they're real butterflies. Or people were like, oh yeah, I've seen them. So, so people really didn't understood, like, the concept. So I had to go and make appointments with every single hotel in Cancun, every single hotel in Riviera Maya, and Tulum, Isla Mujeres, and Cozumel. So you may imagine that I spent months traveling, going hotel by hotel. I was burning CDs with all the information. Imagine that, burning CDs. Oh my God. Going to talk to people. And so everybody kind of knew me by then. So everybody just started asking for the butterfly, and then I started promoting a school program also for little kids so that they could learn about the butterflies and how they live and the importance of the butterflies. So this became something that I thought I was going to be doing for the rest of my life. Everybody was calling me Butterfly Girl, and like everybody knew me already. And then a very interesting phenomenon happened. People from all over, like all the industries, started calling me to see if I could give them more things. Like, for example, do you know a catering company? Or could you recommend somebody for a cake? Or can you help us with chairs? So brides and other vendors, hotels, or everybody started calling me. So I was like their go-to person for everything. I never said no. I started like doing all this stuff that planners do for free, of course, because I didn't even know what I was doing, because I was just selling butterflies. All the other things were just because I was being nice. And then one day I was like, wait a minute, like, what am I doing? This is what planners do. This is exactly what wedding planning is all about. So 2008 comes. I've been with the butterfly company for 3 years. I'm winning all the prizes for #1 sales in Mexico, #1 in Riviera Maya. So a very sad thing happened. They decided to open another office in Riviera Maya without asking me first. And I was really heartbroken because I've been working so hard for the franchise, you know. Everybody knew about it because of me. And the contract said that if they were going to open another office, they were going to contact me first to let me know, you know, like, hey, do you want it? Or we're going to give it to somebody else. So they didn't, and that made me realize it was time to leave the butterfly company. And just like when I thought I didn't know what I was going to do, like really how I'm going to start like a career in something else, a dear friend of mine, now she's a dear friend of mine, back then I didn't know her, Claudia Alvarez, brought to Cancun for the first time ever the wedding planners certification course with Weddings Beautiful Worldwide. And she partnered up with Anáhuac, the university here, so that we could get a degree that has like a real value here with a Mexican university, and also the real value that it has internationally. And that's how in 2008 I graduated from the first wedding planning course there was in Mexico.
That's very interesting. I didn't realize there was that there's actual education and certification for wedding planners.
Yes, there is. And then after that, like I said, like, okay, I'm ready. So let's begin, you know. After that started like really networking around, like going to every single event there was for weddings. And then I discovered that there was something called destination wedding. And that means that I could put together tourism and wedding planning and really make a living out of what I majored in school, you know. Everything that has to do with people that are not from here, that are coming from somewhere else and getting married here. So I would need to know more things, not just things about the wedding. So then I decided that I needed all the certifications there were. I started studying, going to conferences, going to congresses, going everywhere. Like all the time I started investing the little money that I could get out of the weddings or wherever, because I was always working like with everyone, like, who needs help? Who needs help? I can do it. So by that time, I started working and learning also. So I had the destination wedding certification. Then I did the LGBT couple certification. Then I did South Asian wedding certification, Jew wedding certification, and green wedding certification. So, it was, like everything came into place. Every year I would get a different certification, and also I kept working. And then, that we have the villas, Riviera Maya. So I had a huge opportunity to make that a venue for weddings also. So that also helped a lot my business, because I had a wedding venue. I knew for that moment, I knew a lot of vendors, a lot of wedding planners. So at the same time, on the same year, in 2008, we made the opening for the venue. And ever since, I've been involved with the Association of Wedding Planners in Riviera Maya. I've been working with destination weddings, but I'm also teaching workshops and doing conferences. And now, currently, I developed a program, a teaching program, where we are going all around the country here in Mexico, and we are teaching all the vendors that really want to become specialists in destination weddings. We are teaching them how to sell their particular destination. For example, we would go to Acapulco and talk to them about how we do things in Riviera Maya and how everyone could do better in destination weddings and also learn more from their destination. So we teamed up with the Mexican Tourism Board and with the Secretaría de Turismo and Consejo de Promoción Turística, which are part of the Tourism Board. And we are doing this series of certification and workshops all throughout the country. So we're now helping other vendors and planners to grow their business in destination weddings. So that keeps us very busy.
Wow, that's fantastic. I had no idea on the depth and scope of your business. It's just, and it's wonderful how the universe brought together romance and tourism in such a way. It's fabulous.
Exactly. I didn't even know that existed, and I was so lost. I was like, I don't want to be doing weddings for people in Cancun. Like, okay, not that I don't like them, but, I really wanted to do something else. When you work for people that do not live here, there's a lot more opportunity for you to wow them with all the experiences that they can have for their destination wedding. And also, they are more open to your to everything that you have to say in terms of, this is something that I suggest we should do. And, with the locals, it's a little more difficult because they will always say, like, no, my aunt is doing that. Or, no, I already have my father doing this. And that way you really don't have control of the quality of the vendors. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little different. So, I'm really happy. And now my passion is destination weddings. That's what I do all the time. I'm working with them from start to finish. We're offering now even creative proposal services. We're doing rehearsal dinner experiences. We can do before and after wedding events. So we don't focus only on the main day. And we now work only with like the top private wedding venues. So I'm not your typical destination wedding planner that will do all-inclusive hotels. I'm really for a very select niche. That's couples that will stay at the all-inclusive. Everyone's staying there. That's wonderful. They're having a lot of fun. Everyone's on the resort. But they will have an off-resort wedding. That makes a huge difference because the experience is going to be completely different. It's private. It's unique. It's the wedding. It's just like their story, what they want. And we have so many options here in Cancun and Riviera Maya. So I'm very happy about that.
Can I ask you a question? I know because, and it's great to know that your experience and is so vast. Is, you know, some of our listeners may be looking at doing destination weddings. I know we have customers that we've been working with on weddings as well. What are some of the strengths? I mean, if they're looking at destination weddings, I'm sure that, you know, our listeners are also looking at places like maybe Key West or the Caribbean islands or something, what are some of the advantages of having a destination wedding in the Cancun Riviera Maya area versus somewhere else in the world?
Definitely the people. People here, the service you get in this area, there's no place in the world that you get this service. People here will go out of their way to make an incredible experience for you. This is something that I always find, this is something very interesting because I do travel a lot, and I have been invited to do destination weddings with some of my planner friends in different countries. And all the time I find this is very peculiar. People here in the Maya Riviera and Cancun are all about service because this is what they do. 90% of the money that comes to our destinations is with the tourists. So we know that we need to treat them well in order for them to come back. And this also I learned from a taxi driver in Cozumel, one time that I was there going to a site inspection. And I asked him, Señor, which hotel do you think is the best hotel in this island? And then he answered, well, that depends. And I'm like, well, that depends on what? And he said, that depends on who attends you, what person receives you, or what person makes a difference. So that was really, for me, a wow moment. And I said, he's totally right. It's all about the people. It doesn't matter if you have a perfect hotel or resort or it's luxurious if the people are not the right people. So I would say that would be the first thing that makes us different. And also, I can assure you that there's so many professionals here that you can find everything you need for your wedding, and you have all the pricing, the different pricing. So, for example, there's luxury companies and there's other companies that may have some of the things that the luxury company has, but has better prices, and the quality is good, so we could go with that one. So it all depends on your budget, and we have everything for every single kind of budget. So that's also very important for people. You don't have to bring in anything from anywhere. You already have it here, and that will save you a lot of money. And one of the main reasons people choose destination weddings is to save money. That's true. That's real. You are going to save money, not because it's going to be cheaper here, because you are going to have fewer people at your wedding if you do a destination wedding. That's also a fact.
Wow. That's really interesting. The one thing I want to point out is when it doesn't matter if it's the luxury or the venue, when it comes down to people for a destination wedding, and the people that you're working with and that you're around are going to make the difference. It doesn't matter what your budget is for a destination wedding. It's going to be successful because the people are what's going to make it, no matter what you have in mind to spend.
Exactly. And I try to surround myself with vendors. I call them friendors, because they're my friends now. But I try to surround myself with people that have the same mindset that I do and that have the same goals that my company does. So we are all about the couple, and we're all about making magic for someone, because sometimes people don't realize that we are making a truly different experience, not just for the couple, not just for their family, for everyone that came here. They will say the wedding of, I don't know, maybe Maria and Jason, okay? So that's their wedding. But when they go back home, they will say Cancun wedding, or Riviera Maya wedding. So it's all about the destination. We have to focus that when we do a good job, people will talk good about us, but they will talk good about the destination. So we try to put the destination first always, and this is very important for us.
I think it's important to any of us who work in the tourism industry, even all of us at Loco Gringo, is that our passion is for the area that we live in, and we want to share that magic and love, and hopefully those people will go back, and yes, they're going to go back and talk about Cancun or the Riviera Maya, maybe not so much other company names. Hopefully they do, but we want them to go back to home and say, wow, we had an incredible experience. And that, I think that's what means success for any of us with our guests and customers.
Yes, of course. And also, Kay, I want to talk to you about another program that we're developing that's called Wedding Exchange Experience. One of my closest friends in Mexico City, she started with one of her friends in Peru, one day talking and saying, hey, I will never do a wedding in Peru because, I live in Mexico City, and it's very difficult for me to travel there to do a destination wedding. And the friend was saying, yeah, well, the same here. I'm never going to Mexico City to do a destination wedding. So they came up with this idea, and then they invited me to be a part of it, where one time you go to their place, do the destination wedding, and the next time they come. So, of course, you have to pay for your tickets, but that's all you pay. But it's the same thing as if you would pay to go to a conference or you would pay to a certification course. So it's it's like a one-on-one experience, and you get hands-on, and you actually live the total experience of the wedding. So now my friend Lucia, she already went to Peru. Her friend from Peru came to Mexico City. Lucia came to Cancun to do a wedding with me in Nizuc on February. I went to Mexico City in April to Valle de Bravo to make a wedding with her. And now in November, I'm going to Nashville to do a Southeast Asia wedding with one of my dear friends in Nashville. And then she's coming next year to Cancun to do a destination wedding with me. So with this wedding exchange program, what we're doing is that once you reach a certain level in your career, for example, you've been doing this for more than 10 years, it's very difficult that if you already grew a market and a niche, you start operating in other parts of the world. With this program, you can do it. And it's like, do you remember when we were growing up that maybe in high school there was like exchange programs that
yes,
you would
I
go
do.
to another person's house and stay there,
Yep.
Well, it's the same thing. We invite them over, they stay in our houses, we stay in their houses, and you have a learning experience, and you will do something that, for example, I have never think that I would be in a rancho in, near Mexico City with a wedding, like in this beautiful place called Valle de Bravo. Like I had never dreamed that I would be doing a destination wedding there. So this is a very important thing that we started doing this year, and I think we will begin to grow and add more people to our program. So this way we have another learning opportunity. That's what I've learned more in this career. Sometimes you learn more when you are doing the wedding, and you learn more from your mistakes than what you can learn from a book.
Wow. Really interesting and really a cool program. I'm kind of jealous in a way that you have an opportunity to go to other places and work with other wedding planners. It's a wonderful program.
Yeah, and I just want to tell you one more.
Absolutely.
This is why I'm always busy. I'm just very, how do you say, we have here like a saying in Mexico that's called ajonjolí de todos los moles, which means like you're jumping everywhere, like you're part of everything. But it's just because I'm so passionate about this. So 2 years ago, I came up with this idea, and I talked to one of my colleagues, and I said, why don't we do something with, why don't we create a foundation, or we do something with the weddings? Like, let's do something because this industry gives us so much, so we should give back. So we started our foundation that's called Signature Love Weddings. In Spanish, we decided to call it Bodas Hechas con el Corazón. And our association, we don't accept money. We don't accept anything that's in money or whatever. We only accept exchange in work. So, for example, we look for couples that have had a hard time getting married, because sometimes it's not only about the money, it's health issues or maybe accidents or other problems. So that has been the hardest part. It took us a while to look for the couples. Now we have a couple, and we're going to do our first wedding in November. So we invite vendors and all the people that want to participate. And what we donate is our time. Our time, and for example, one catering company will maybe do the cocktail. The other company will do some part of the food, and the other company other part of the food, But everybody chips in. Everybody donates their work and their time. And we're going to do our first ever wedding in November, teaming up with an international planners association that's called Believe International Planners. They're having in November here in Riviera Maya their first world retreat for planners, and we team up with them. They wanted to give back to the community. They said, okay, we want to do the retreat in Riviera Maya, but when we're going to be there, we want to give back. So they're all helping with invitations, decorations, everything, and we're doing that through our association, and I'm really, really happy. It's another dream that's coming true, and this way we can help not only couples, but we can help all the vendors and professionals that really want to give back, and they don't know how to do it. They already do it with little children or with the elder, or everybody has programs, but they really don't know how to give back to our wedding community, because the romance industry is really big. And what I'm more happy about is the response of everyone. Everyone's so happy. Everybody wants to be part of it. I was in Washington a few days ago in a conference that I went there, and I was talking about this, and there were people, they're not even living here in Mexico, and they were like, we want to help, So it's so nice to see how our romance industry worldwide is really all about helping and getting together and that, and I'm so happy about that. So yeah, Signature Love Weddings is another of my babies, and I'm very happy that we're going to make a dream come true in November.
Oh, beautiful. I don't have the words. I'm just very moved, and congratulations on such a beautiful thing. It's a great way to give back.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow. Oh, well, I know that, I mean, wow. I'm like, wow. I want to talk about what you love, and what you love in terms of some things that you love that you want to share with people who are coming down to the area, some recommendations or tips that they can take advantage of or participate in while they're here, so they have a more authentic experience. And of course, a lot of people choose staying at big resorts and everything, and we're all about encouraging people to get out into the local community, or to have an experience is to leave the hotel grounds and really discover more about Cancun and the Riviera Maya. So do you have some things that you love that you want to share with people?
Yes, there's a lot of things that I love, and one of them is Puerto Morelos. I really love Puerto Morelos. I mean, I live very nearby, so I go very often, but it's just a little fisherman's town. It's a really cool place where you can get great food. And also, I've been talking to fishermen, and I've been doing a lot of, they take you out on the boat. You can go with them fishing. You can learn like what they fish, what's the kind of how they're taking care of the reef. You can do snorkel. You can do like basically any kind of tour that you would do in a big company, but you can do it with a local. And it's a different experience because you feel like if you're part of their family. When you come back, they can give you the fish, or they can do ceviche. And it's a different experience if you're eating ceviche riding your boat in the middle of the ocean, you know?
Yeah,
it's so
it is.
different than if you go to a restaurant. And I mean, I love the ocean. I love the beach. That's one of my favorite things to do. If you come to this area, you must at least try to visit the coral reef. What we have here is one of the biggest reefs in the world, and it's really worth it. I just had like one of my sister's boyfriends. He came here for summer vacation. He had never been to this area before. Well, maybe he came down when he was in high school for his graduation trip or something, but he doesn't really remember. But he was here, and we took him and we did that on the reef, and he was like, wow, I've never seen anything like this in my life. So really that's one thing. The other thing that I did last year, and this is embarrassing because I've been living here like forever, and I was never there, but the Tiburón Ballena, I had never done that before. Like, I've never done that. So I asked around, and there was this guy who was renting his boat, and we would leave like at 6 a.m. before everybody else. We would go like really like hunting down the tiburon to see where they were. We arrived there before everyone else. It was an amazing experience just to be alone in the sea with those guys. So that's another thing that you can do. I mean, you need to really look for it. It has to be an authorized boat, but it's not really a big company, so they can do like those private tours. Mm-hmm. And also it's an amazing experience because I had never swum before with the Tiburón Ballena. And if you love animals like I do and you love the ocean, definitely that's something that you can do. But Kay, I think you know more cool places than I do because I mean, I see you in this like wonderful little places everywhere, and I'm like, oh my God, where is that? I've never been there. So I think in terms of like things that they can do, I don't know a lot of places because I'm just like traveling and working all the time. But definitely Puerto Morelos is one of my go-to for everything. Like, even there's another thing that I love in Puerto Morelos, but I cannot remember the name right now. There's a woman that gives cooking classes. She's from Canada. And in her little hostel, they have breakfast. Oh my God, that's delicious too. There's like I have to.
Where's she from? She's in Puerto Morelos, or is she
She's in Puerto. She's in Puerto Morelos. I don't remember the name right now, but I think that if you look for cooking classes in Puerto Morelos, you will find her. That's something very interesting to do too. And of course, we always recommend in our villas also to go out and try to get to know local people and local activities because there's so much to do and see. Like, go to the cenotes. Cenotes are amazing places where you can swim. Those huge water holes with fresh water. Well, I really find that something amazing.
And it's also a beautiful location for a wedding.
And it's also a beautiful location for a wedding.
One thing I wanted to mention while I think of it is that I don't know if I can send you our blog post. Does your mother still have family in Merida?
No, they don't. We go quite often, but we don't have family.
Well, one of the places to check out, if you haven't seen it, they just opened not too long ago. It's a sacred art museum. So this is religious artifacts that, and it's a little pueblo right on the outskirts of Merida, and they have all sorts of religious artifacts from, and this goes back to like Friar Landa days. And
wow,
the conquistadors, when there was a huge Catholic influence from Spain. And it's an absolute awesome find. So there's one of those little places I will tip you off on that you really need to check out because I don't think a lot of people, they haven't done a lot of promotion. And it's really an amazing little museum that they built within an old convent.
I'm going to check that out. That sounds amazing. Also, Kate, did you go to the Chichen Itza, the mapping, the video mapping they did, that they were doing the show there every
No, I
night?
didn't. No, I didn't. What's that about?
I don't know if they still have it, but they did a video mapping on the main pyramid, and they had every night a show which was free, that you could go in and check out like all the story of the Mayas and everything, but it was just like all images that were coming out of the pyramid. It was like an amazing thing, like really, really worth your time, like going all the way to Chichen Itza just to check it out. And also one of my favorite places in the area would be, now that you're talking about Merida, Izamal.
Izamal's beautiful.
Have you been there?
Yes, I have.
I
Yeah.
love Izamal. We go like, I don't know, maybe every month or two. We stay there for a weekend. It's delicious. It's beautiful. It's like, we love walking around. We stay like in the main square. You know, it's, if you really want like a colonial town that's not so big, because it's, I like Izamal better than Valladolid. I really like it. Like, Izamal is my favorite.
You know, it's a great little city, and I think we'll see over the years. I think it has the potential to become really an artisan, creative type community where, you know, people come to study art or to read a book, or, you know, I think it may develop into be a very, very interesting destination for people. And it's so rich in culture. For everybody who doesn't know Izamal, it's west of Chichen Itza on the way to Merida, and it has the second largest Catholic installation next to the Vatican, which is, and it's just a really old, what that means is it's a really old church, a really big old church. But
Yes.
it has a huge history, and I will say they built the church on top of a Mayan ruin. And from the church, you can see other pyramids and everything. But it's an awesome town. I think it's going to be. There's part of me that goes, I want to move there. You know.
Oh, yeah. Once I was looking also for houses there.
See? I know.
I was really in love with that town. I'm really in love with that town. And also something very interesting, if people want to know what a real Mexican town fiesta is like, every December, the 8th of December, is the party of Izamal. La Fiesta de Izamal, because it's the 8th of December, they celebrate their Virgin, which is La Virgen de la Concepción. It's, of course, it's around the church and everything, but it's a huge fiesta, like you have no idea. Fireworks all day long, all night long. There's like lots of food, lots of fiesta. Like, you can live like a real Mexican town party, and it's a very nice experience.
Wow, I'm going to have to check that. I'm going to put it on my calendar, and I'm going to do a little more research on it. I have never heard of it after all these years, so I appreciate the tip.
Yeah, I'll tell you, because my mother's birthday is on the 8th, and she always wants to go there because they do a huge concert for the Virgin and bring artists from everywhere to sing to her. And you can go, and it's for free. You sit down with everybody else in the audience, and you have the free concert. So we go every year, and it's amazing. It's like the most amazing fiesta ever. I love it.
That's awesome. Ilse, you've got so much great information, and I have so many more questions, which I think then we're going to have you back, and because I want to talk more about weddings, and I'm really interested on like the green certification and people who want to have eco-friendly weddings. So I'd love to have you back. How can people reach out to you if they want to contact you, whether it's about a wedding or, maybe this fiesta and Izamal? If they have questions, how's the best way for them to reach you?
Well, I can give them my Instagram account, which I think it's the easiest. My Instagram handle is Diamant events.
Okay.
Which, and
we'll put it on the website too.
Oh, perfect. And also I can give you my email.
Okay, great. Well, we'll do. Oh, do you want to go? You want to give it to us now? Great. Go for it.
Well, yeah, Ilse at luxuryromanceambassador.com.
Awesome. And we'll have that email address on our blog post and everything. So if people read today's show notes, we'll have all that contact information for you, and we'll have links over to your website too, Ilse, so people can check out everything that you got going on.
Yes, our website is, I'm doing a little upgrade right now. We're just tuning it up. So you're probably going to see like our old version, but I'm hoping that in the next 2 weeks, we're going to have our brand new version up already.
Awesome. Wow. Well, I have to thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to chat with me.
Okay. For me, it was a pleasure, and thank you again for inviting me. And of course, that I want to be back and talk to you about more about destination weddings and everything that we have here to offer everyone.
Oh, thank you so much.
Well, are you inspired now to move down here? Do you want to move down here and have a little place of your own? Well, then you need to talk to our friends at Playa. You know, they have a friendly and knowledgeable international staff. They speak lots of languages, and they are known as being a buyer's agent. Well, what does that mean? That means they are only going to show you and sell you properties they know that have escrituras. An escritura is a title. And it's part of their due diligence to make sure the title is clear, there's no liens, and that the person who's selling the property is actually the owner. Playa works with lawyers that specialize in fideicomisos, which is a Mexican trust. You may have heard of it already before. And they can address things such as capital gains problems immediately and right up front, so that you have no surprises along the way to closing. So contact our friends at Playa at buyplaya.com. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. I don't know about you, but after talking about all this romance and stuff, I got that music, Love is in the Air, stuck in my head. Don't worry, I'm not giving up my day job. Hey, before you take off, just a reminder, today's show notes are at locogringo.com/podcasts. If you're coming down to the Riviera Maya in Yucatan anytime soon, or even thinking about it, please visit our website, locogringo.com. We have a team of people that help you put together an incredible vacation experience, from an amazing place to stay all the way through things to do, help you out, tons of information. And our job is to work for you to make sure you have an incredible experience. We love the Riviera Maya and Yucatan area, and we think you should too.
Thanks for listening. If you like the show, be sure to subscribe. For links, show notes, and more information, head on over to locogringo.com or give us a call toll-free at 800-478-0081.
Porque se tragó la luna, estaba enferma la rana, su madre soba que soba, dedos de pluma la panza, pensó ranita que luna era una toronja blanca, y aunque la luna es de leche, la leche estaba cortada. Croa, croa, dedos de pluma, croa, croa, dedos de agua, croa, croa.